The orphan child needs more care than the ordinary child needs. He's in dire need of attention and psychological and material support in order to be able to complete his life normally and have a great ability to erase the effects and bitterness of orphanhood when he grows up. The father and the mother are the bonds in life, and the loss of the father during his childhood is one of the very difficult and hardest things for a person. The father is considered the helper, friend, and educator, and the father is also considered the source of tenderness. All these beautiful things that the orphan person has been deprived of. We have to sympathize with them and treat them well because he's a person who has suffered bitterly losing his father or mother. There are a lot of children in shelters, and people who do not have children go to them and adopt them. This happens in a lot of different countries. On the other hand, suspicion and love do not go together. When doubt enters marital life, love quickly flees from it, as life with it is unbearable. Suspicion leads to the killing of love between married couples, and doubt is never associated with stability, but is accompanied by the destruction of the family's entity and the collapse of its security and stability. On a very rainy day, there's a beautiful baby girl who came to this life. Sarah's mother gave birth to a very beautiful girl named Masha, but her luck was very bad. Masha lives a very tragic life. Sarah's mother and her husband, Artem, died in an accident, and now Masha is an orphan. Masha lives a very difficult life, and now she's in an orphanage. She lives in an orphanage and is still 4 years old. There's an old woman in the village who wants someone to console her. She loves children very much and decides to adopt a child, so she went to the orphanage where Masha lives. That old woman takes Masha and adopts her. Masha lives a happy life with that old woman. It was that woman who took great care of Masha. She teaches Masha to write, pronounce, and everything. Really, that woman is very good. Now Masha's become a very mature and beautiful young woman. She looks very beautiful. This old woman has a nephew named Igor. Igor is a very strict man. He loves Masha very much and wants to marry her. Masha is very hesitant, but in the end she agrees. Igor lives with Masha a very happy life, but that was only in the beginning, where it turned out that Igor later had a very strict side to his personality. Igor doubts everything. He always thinks that people will betray him and deceive him. Masha is always in doubt because of him. Their lives really changed a lot. Unfortunately, that old woman who raised Masha died. Now Masha lives with Igor. Masha goes to the forest every day to collect mushrooms because she loves them so much. She always goes early in the morning to do it, but something very tragic happened one day. The tragic thing that happened is that Masha went to the forest to collect mushrooms, but she saw people who seemed to be drunk. These people are saying weird things, and they definitely seem drunk. They want to rape Masha. They're never normal. There are 3 people, and one of them went to Masha to tie her up, but the attempt failed. Masha has previously trained how to defend herself. She rushed immediately, and no one could rape her. She saved herself, but that situation was very terrifying. She cries a lot, and she's afraid to tell her husband anything because he's very strict, and he will suspect her. She does not know what to do to tell her husband or not. Really, Masha lives in tragedy. She's afraid to tell her husband anything that happened to her because she knows very well that her husband Igor will not believe her and he will beat her. She's afraid that he will expel or divorce her. A while passed and Masha began to feel nauseous and headache. She never wants to eat, and the surprise here is that Masha found out that she's pregnant. She's absolutely sure that she's pregnant with her husband Igor because the attempt by the people in the forest to rape her was unsuccessful. Masha is absolutely sure that she's pregnant with her husband Igor. She went to her husband Igor and told him, "You will be a wonderful father. I am pregnant." Igor is very happy with the news, but this happiness did not last long. Really, life is very strange and everything changes in a minute. Many days passed, and the black day came when Igor invited his friends to his house to have dinner together. The worst of luck comes when one of his friends is the same person who tried to rape Masha, and his name is William. The wife, Masha, goes out with dinner to put it on the table, and now William sees her, but she does not see him. William thinks that Masha is a maid at his friend Igor's house. William wants to show himself that he's the desired person and that all the girls love him so much to satisfy his ego. He wants his friends to say good things about him. The biggest problem started when William said to Igor, "This woman, I've seen her before. We did everything together in the forest. She works for you as a maid, fortunately." Anger is very visible on Igor's face. Now Igor hits William very hard and says to him, "How dare you talk about my wife like that?" It got more complicated, and now William ran straight away and ran away from the house. Now Masha is very terrified, especially since she feels that it's the night of giving birth. She's very tired, and now Igor tells her, "You are a traitorous wife. You betrayed me with my best friend William. How could you do that? You are a very bad person. You broke me. You say that those in your womb are my children? No, I don't think so. You can do anything to gain your advantage. Those in your womb are not my children. You are a liar. They are William's sons. I don't want to see you again, woman. Leave me alone and don't talk to me again, and don't try to call me. Igor kicks out his wife, Masha, and beats her. She's now in the street and does not know what to do. She did not find any place to sit or sleep. She's sitting in the woods and is very hurt. Masha is in a lot of pain and screams, but no one hears her. Masha will give birth to her children now, in great pain. She's alone in the dark and cold. This girl suffered greatly, especially that she's alone and an orphan. It really is a difficult life. Now Masha is giving birth to her children alone. Masha gave birth to 3 very sweet children. There's a very strange thing that happened that Masha saw that the children are not only 3, but 4. But the 4th one looks very strange, like a cat. She saw a lynx next to her. It also gives birth to another animal. Masha was very faint and dazed and slept a little, and then took that animal with her. There is a woman who saw Masha and rushed to help her and took her with her children, and now Masha sits with that woman for a while until her health becomes good and improves. And then she returns to her husband to show him that his children look just like him. And that's enough evidence that she was right. Now many days have passed and Masha's health condition is starting to improve and the children are a little older. Masha thanks that woman for helping her so much and going to her husband's house. Masha took the lynx with her because she loved it so much and thought that it would help and protect her. Masha now rings the bell and Igor opens the door. Masha says to him, "These are your children. Look how much they look just like you. You misjudged me so much. You doubted me so much." Igor was very shocked when he saw his children and that they looked exactly like him. He said to Masha, "I'm sorry, Masha. I know. I misjudged you. The situation was very difficult. I'm sorry. Forgive me. I'll make up for everything. I will always be by your side. I will take revenge on William because he did all this for making a problem between us. I'm sorry the situation was very difficult. I will not repeat anything that makes you sad. We'll raise our children together and live a happy life together. Never be sad." Masha is very sad because she doesn't want to stay with Igor because he doubts her, but she has no other solution. She's tired because she's still in pain since birth, and she also breastfeeds, sleeps, and stays up with the children. And this is very difficult, especially since there are 3 twin children. She needs to rest and sit at home in order to take care of her children, so she has no other solution but to sit in her husband Igor's house. Masha also takes care of the lynx a lot and loves it very much. As for William, since he ran away after Igor hit him, he's running away from all people. Igor asked anyone that if he found William, he would give him a big reward. That's because Igor wants to take revenge on him. Already, the people of the city found William was exiled. William wants to take revenge on Masha because she's the reason for this. William goes home when Masha's alone and tries to kill her, but suddenly here the animal is defending Masha. The animal attacked William and William is now bleeding. The police came now and William was arrested. Really, it's a very happy ending that William is locked up and now Masha is living in peace. A person should never doubt without evidence and choose his life partner carefully.